Hi guys, so Brexiteers like Jacob Rees-Mogg promised that food and other items would be cheaper post-Brexit. Now at the time their argument was, well, we'll be able to open up the UK to trade with all over the world, countries all over the world, and this would drive down prices. It was of course an argument built on nothing more than rhetoric. But worse than that, it demonstrated a complete lack of understanding of both international trade and supply chains. What am I talking about? Well, this report from Sky News perfectly highlights how Brexit is driving up prices, not lowering them.
Our business correspondent Helen Ann Smith has the latest.
So it is more bad news this morning for families, for consumers, for households who need to pay their bills, and businesses as well. Inflation up again, unfortunately. So for the 12 months to January, inflation up 5.5%. That is roughly what economists expected, but to put that in some context, we're talking about a 30-year high in the price of inflation, the cost of the things we're buying. And this is new Covent Garden Market. It's the biggest wholesale market in the country. It sells lots of fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and crucially fresh flowers as well. As you can see, I'm at one of the stall sellers here. These flowers have come from all sorts of different parts of the world, some as far as Ecuador, some from Spain, but they've come through Holland. And that matters because all the Brexit legislation, the paperwork, that's added to costs that they're already seeing from things like fuel, energy, all sorts of things. I just want to bring you over. I'm talking, what sort of cost increases are you seeing as a business?
I would guesstimate between 15 and 20% on stuff coming out of Holland. A little bit more than that if it's coming from Ecuador, just with transport, documentation costs and the tariffs.
And that extra cost, those extra pricing, how much are you having to pass those on to your customers? How much are you bearing of it yourself?
About 50-50. We're trying to carry the brunt of what we can, but some of it obviously has to be passed on to customers and then obviously passed on to consumers after that.
How difficult has it been for you as a business balancing all this stuff at the moment?
It's, along with the cost, it's the paperwork. Just the sheer mountain of paperwork for a company of our size, for our backup team. They're just being swamped with paperwork that they don't necessarily understand also.
And it's also things as well, is it like fuel costs, labour costs, all those things too?
The whole thing. It's not anything that's going down, it's all going up.
And that's
packaging, the whole thing.
And that's after 2 years of trade that have been very difficult.
It's definitely, the main part of that is from Brexit related, not COVID, but most of that is Brexit related.
Most of that is Brexit related. Because, you know, Brexiteers will say, well, we're out of the pandemic. Look, we're out of Boris Johnson has defeated the virus. But you can't turn around, Brexiteers can't turn around and say, well, look, you know, all these problems are because of the pandemic, nothing to do with Brexit. But then if you've defeated the pandemic, you can't continue to use it as an excuse. But he and the reporter here highlighted a very valid point, very important point. The fact that most of the goods are flowing through the Netherlands, through Holland. So it doesn't matter if you're importing stuff from Ecuador, if it's going through the Netherlands, it's entering the European Union. And you're going to suffer the consequences of importing from the European Union. So when Brexiteers said we're going to open up markets all over the world and we can avoid the European Union, well, obviously they didn't understand the Netherlands and the fact that it's a massive hub there for a lot of goods. So either Brexiteers didn't understand that or they were pretending not to understand that. And they were lying. I don't know which is the case here. But as this man also pointed out, his small company has to hire staff, or the staff that are available are swamped with paperwork. And as he said, also paperwork that they don't know how to deal with. They don't know how to deal with all these new forms and checks and everything and documentation like health certificates. But they have to complete this paperwork. And we've seen smaller companies who are truly struggling because they have to either hire staff or they have to delegate staff, existing staff, into doing these tasks, which is a waste of money because it wasn't necessary before. So Brexiteers will say, yes, these are all benefits of leaving the European Union, being able to trade with countries on the other side of the planet. But if some of their goods are passing through the European Union, then there is no benefit here. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.